All right, new business, transportation update. An update will be given regarding the district's transportation service. Dr. Dare. And Loretta. I missed you up there. I missed seeing her up there.
She was
You
hidden
were
by all
hiding.
those wrestlers.
In church.
First of all, I just want to thank for all the support we get from the board and from the administration. We seem to always have something going on and always get the support that we need, so we appreciate that. That's good.
You're the unsung hero of snow day
Yeah, I was
determination,
going to
too.
say.
Were you out driving early?
Yeah,
We
You
talk.
were out driving early too?
Oh, yeah, we talk early.
oh yeah.
Aaron probably takes the city roads.
Well, if you like the call, then I'll accept responsibility. If you don't, then
Then it's hers.
how about that, Loretta? That's teamwork, right?
Yeah. Oh. Side one. Okay. With the Transportation Department, Equipment and Facilities, we have a 1,600 square foot facility. It's located on 4 acres with 3 fully furnished work bays and 1 wash bay. We have a total of 65 buses in our fleet, 18 district maintenance vehicles, and additional district equipment. Learn how to use a remote. Oh, it went the wrong way. There we go. For the personal service budgets and safety, we have 79 employees, including myself, the assistant director, the secretary, and 2 mechanics, and 1 assistant mechanic bus washer, which is what we added last year. Is working out pretty good. And then we have 40 regular daily routes with 5 special needs routes. We've got 4 early childhood routes and 2 pre-K routes, which I believe it was last year that we started those. And we support 6 vocational programs with daily transportation between the RTC, the RTI, and the high school. And we have a few kids that come from the junior high also. And let's see, we support 4 buses dedicated to out-of-town travel for all the field trips and all the stuff that they do extra. And we support 8 buses for rotation due to normal maintenance as well as any breakdowns, which luckily we've gotten pretty lucky this year. We haven't had too many breakdowns, so that's been pretty good. And the buses, the rotation on the buses is working pretty good. We've got some really good sub buses right now, and so the driver's really liking that. Keep going. Okay. We transport approximately 2,500 students a day. They travel approximately 500,000 miles a year. We provide transportation to approximately 700 field trips and activity trips per year, which I believe this year we're going to go pretty well over that, quite a bit. The current fiscal year 19 budget is $2.36 million, and the state reimbursement is approximately $300,000 for 19.
So, go ahead.
Well, I don't know if you were going to touch on it, but I would just say, so when you hear during the deliberations of the General Assembly about transportation funding and not being quite at the level, anytime money is added to transportation funding, the expectation of our fleet and our director and our school district is we continue to provide the service that we provide. We appreciate anything we get from the state of Missouri relative to that, but that gap has widened significantly over the years.
And their target is what again?
There's a 3-year phase target. First phase was $60 million.
Not in dollars. What percentage should they be paying for of our transportation?
Yes,
75 cents on the dollar.
we have, yeah. Well, anyway, I just wanted, that particular bullet's very important because we do not diminish the service that it's expected of us.
On our state inspection, last year, we had a 92.2 pass rate and 100% for the day. So it means there's just a few buses that had little stuff wrong, like lights or whatever that was out, and then we replaced them. And so by the end of the day, we passed 100%. We are gearing up for this year's inspection, which is held on Thursday during spring break. So we just had our last safety meeting, and with that, we had the drivers go through and they pick out another number from another bus, and they can't pick their own bus, or they have to pick again. And we go out and do a inspection on the bus, and that way fresh eyes see different things that maybe the other drivers miss because it's on their bus that they see every day. And then we write that down, which every year it seems to rain when we have that meeting, so, but they're troopers. So they came out and we got it done. And that really helps the mechanics get ready for the inspections because they write down stuff that maybe the other drivers just kind of come complacent to. So that works out really good, and we're shooting for 100% first round. So we'll sure we can do it. Wrong way again. And I will let Kyle talk about this.
I'm going to go back for just a second. Just a couple things. I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to just thank Loretta. She does a great job, and it's often a very thankless job. We don't get very many phone calls where people say, thank you for delivering my child to school safely today. That's not the phone calls we get, and that's okay. But she does a really great job. And just a couple things that are highlighted on this slide that I think kind of point to the task that they have in front of them. If you break down that 700 field trips and activities per year and you think about the number of days in a year, there's always something going on, and usually 3 or 4 somethings, and usually all at the same time, and usually in multiple places that are never conveniently located. And they do a great job of organizing and orchestrating all the drivers and trips and things that keep us all going and allow our students to do what they need to do. So Loretta and her crew do a fantastic job, and I think we would be remiss not to point that out. Going forward, a couple things might mention to you. It's not on the slide, but we had mentioned to you before we had issues with the fuel pumps. We're very happy. I know Loretta is very happy to report that they are working again. We're no longer having to drive all the buses over and fuel up at MFA, and so that's been a great blessing. It took a little longer than we hoped, but we got that going. Looking forward into next year, currently we're planning to budget for the purchase of up to 5 new buses as part of our regular rotation. The budget estimate is a little higher than normal. A couple of those buses will need to be special needs buses with lifts, so that does add some expense to the cost of the bus. So that should more than cover it, but we will have a little additional expense with that. And also one thing that we've been looking at this year, we currently have 1 full-time driver and 2 part-time shuttle drivers. Loretta mentioned all the vocational things during the day, also Quest and just other things where we're shuttling kids between buildings and throughout the district during the day, early childhood kids, those kind of things. We started with the full-time and the 2 part-time, but all 3 of them have been working full-time hours. And so moving into next year, beginning in July, we'd like to just go ahead and designate them all as full-time. That way they're here, they know that they're here, and we can schedule them accordingly. That's all I have, unless you all have questions, and Loretta would be the one to answer them. So,
Of that 2.36 million budget, you said 300K we get from the state, right? Do we get any federal reimbursement for the special education students, or right?
that might be a better Kendra question. Are we tagging some special needs buses? It's minimal.
The reason I ask that is, I think it says a lot that our community is paying up to $2 million a year to get kids to and from school.
Absolutely.
If you look at it that way, it's
Not all of that 2.36 million, it would be reimbursable from the state.
That's correct.
That's correct. So
I don't know what
reimbursable is only, quote, eligible miles.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah, which is basically getting kids to and from school. So our field trips and those things are on the local.
Yeah, I think the two things we take for granted with schools, and I'm impressed with every year, is that we get kids to and from school every day with very few, if any, problems, right? It's incredible. You think about that, the number of kids, and that we feed 3,000 to 4,000 kids every day. It's amazing. I mean,
Breakfast and lunch.
Think about, just think about what it takes to do those two things, let alone provide an education.
It takes good people.
Yeah, it's incredible.
The right
Thank
people,
you,
the right
Loretta.
spot.
Loretta's been very efficient with the dollars that have been entrusted to. It's difficult to have a conversation with a parent that sees a bus go by their house and say, well, the bus is right here. Can't it just stop and pick up my kid? When there's logistics to, those buses are going somewhere else. And so you want to meet every need of every child and every parent, but in order to be as efficient as we have been, it's difficult to add routes and miles and things of that sort, because we are trying to continue to provide what we've been providing with less and less.
If you need bus drivers, this would be a good time to do a little advertising.
Yes, we need bus drivers. Yeah.
There's never ever been a time when we haven't needed bus drivers. So thank you, Loretta.
Thank you,
Thank
Loretta.
you.